guys, welcome back to the channel. Been working on the rivers more. I went ahead and I think I mentioned it somewhere in one of the videos, but this is the Woodland Scenics Realistic Water. I went ahead and started switching over to that. I just wasn't happy with the results coming from the stuff I got at Hobby Lobby, and in the long run the cost is pretty equal. This is better, it's a better product, and I'm not afraid to say that. So, as you can see, the river's been getting some work on. You can see my hand reflection right there, which is pretty neat. I was going to show you what this is like to pour more of it, and there's the label just in case you're curious. Find these at your local hobby shop, find them on Amazon, you know, all the online hobby shop stuff like that as well. And let me take the cap off and we'll pour some water. One thing I always do is I always peel this back but leave it kind of on there just to help create an extra seal, so if you don't use it all in one time you don't have to worry about it drying out. So anyway, now that you have your lid off, you're going to want to start and just kind of pour down the middle. You'll see how this pours differently and a little cleaner than the last stuff did. It's very sticky. If you get it on your hand, it will come off. It's just kind of like a very watery version of glue. And then see how that's running on its own right here. You can see it running towards my finger. That's why you don't want to start at your edges. So this is the front edge right here. This is my tape that's acting as kind of a barrier. That's why you don't want to start at that edge. You just want to let it kind of naturally flow. You'll see it slow down a little bit. While that's doing it, we are going to go back over here, pour some of this area that needs more layers. Let it meet underneath that bridge right there. It's very satisfying to watch. If you need to spread it out a little bit, you know, you could recommend using a stick or a toothpick, or you know, something that you can kind of poke at it with without getting you know, your finger all messy. Ideally, you'd want to do this without the bridges and track there, but sometimes it isn't always possible, and that's okay. We're going to add a little up here since the flowing has flowing has slowed. There, we'll let that kind of work its way in, and I'll pour a little bit more at the back here. Let me reach over. I might bump the camera. I hope I don't. And this is about as thick as you want to pour it. You really don't want to put it on too much more than this, or it won't dry. I'd also recommend that you make sure you have a climate controlled area that you're doing this at. If you don't, run some fans. This doesn't actually have an odor to it. It has like a smell, like a glue smell to it, but it's not an odor. It's about it actually curing. If you have a humid environment, it's not going to cure right for you, or it will eventually, I should say, but it'll take some days. Let me get a little bit more back here so that transition happens. There you go. We're going to let that sit. And some of the next things that we're going to do beyond that, let me put the lid back on before I forget. Some of the next things that we're going to do beyond that is going to be adding in those boats, because this is finally getting to a depth that I like. And then we're also going to be adding in these water ripples and the water effect. This is basically like a gel, and you use a stiff brush to put it on. This is what it looks like. You just kind of use a stiff brush to put it on and let it dry. It's going to give you a nice effect like water ripples on that, give you the illusion that it's flowing. So that'll be coming up probably next week. Want to make sure that there's plenty of time for this to dry. I want to make sure that there is the right depth that I want. There's a couple spots in the back that are still kind of shallow, but you know, we'll go from there. But anyway, that's the latest update. I hope you guys learned some stuff. You know, in another week or so, I'll be showing you the water ripples. And otherwise, thank you for checking this out.